Welcome to episode 41 of the FlameFlash.net podcast. Well, I'm FlameFlash. Hi there. We're going to get started right on the Raptor report. Raptor.com, RAPTR.com. They have a great IM client. Lets you track your gaming time, both manually and automatically, depending on the console or the PC that you're playing on. And it's what helps me build the Raptor report. Mario Kart 7 for the 3DS, for instance, comes up first. There's not much I can say about it at this point, since it's shown up on the Raptor report for multiple weeks in a row. Go grab it if you have a 3DS. This is one of the reasons you should buy a 3DS if you don't have one. The other one being the Ambassador Program, which I got. Unfortunately, the Ambassador Program is no longer available, however. Magic: The Gathering. Now, my Raptor report shows a rather inflated number because, as I mentioned, I use this to also track my Magic: The Gathering cards, physical cards, playing, or deck setting up. Invested a good 5 hours in this game, just dreaming up decks and deck strategies. Yeah, I think the game's paying for itself. Just a little bit. Now, I also did play the digital version on the PlayStation Network this time around, and joined the 20%, 17% proud few who have defeated the Arch Enemy campaign, at least according to Raptor. Not too shabby. I'm proud of that number. Finally, World of Warcraft. Yes, I said finally. 3 games on the Raptor report this week. It's been a pretty busy week. But I leveled a priest 3 levels in the matter of 2 evenings? 3? Wow. Not too shabby. Went out herbing because I needed to catch my herbing up since she was level 58 and could therefore, go to Outland. But couldn't herb in Outland yet. It drives me nuts when that happens and my gathering isn't up to par with the area that I'm in. So, in queue, the looking for dungeon, looking for group queue, and I ding off of an herb as the queue pops up on the screen. Those of you that have had it happen to you know exactly what happened next. I got removed from the queue. Now, I understand why I was removed from the queue, because I was suddenly eligible to go to Hellfire Peninsula's Ramparts. That instance, the first one of Burning Crusade. But it's still a frustrating thought when I've been sitting in the queue for I'm not sure how long, flying around, or riding around, herbing, the Swamp of Sorrows, and ta-da! Where'd it go? Oh, congratulations, you're level 59. Ah, crap. It's one of the few times that I cursed leveling. Didn't have to wait too much longer, though. It looks like the bracket from 59 to wherever the cutoff is these days for Burning Crusade content is a bit heftier. My assumption being that people are tired of the Burning Crusade content at this point. Let's hope that not with Mists, but with, say, the next expansion after Mists, they go back and retool the Burning Crusade. Just a little bit. Tweaks. Some tweaks. Something to make the leveling experience a little more palatable. Though, granted, I have a hunter who is camping at level 71 right now because I just haven't had the drive to level another character through Northrend content. So I think this may just be a problem of expansionitis, if you want to call it that. So, you know, you have a max level character, or multiple max level characters. In my case, I have 3 with 2 more really, really close. You've played, therefore, the current expansion's content to death at this point. You have 3, 4, maybe even 10 max level characters. You don't want to go back and level another one. Granted, I will be leveling a panda come Mists of Pandaria, assuming they fix the character slot count issue. I am of Zangermarsh, of the US servers. I'm not moving from those servers for one silly little character. The Alliance side, of course. Horde side, I'm over on Argent Dawn. It's an RP server, but I'm not there much. Clearly, I'm an Alliance player. Even though I wish it was an RP realm. Oh well. But the runs through Ramparts were quite successful for the most part. I'm a bit surprised at this bracket how low my mana goes and how quickly. Shadow Priests just aren't mana efficient, and I don't understand why. I'm doing the proper rotation. I'm helping kill these things. Heck, I'm even pulling aggro off the tank a couple of times. So I must be doing something right? Damage output wise. But then, of course, it would help if I had a Death Knight tank, you know, in Blood spec, or at least Blood Presence. I get that Blood Presence probably doesn't get learned yet if you're not 60, or I'm not sure when it's learned anymore. I have level 85 Death Knight. But at least pick up the spec, people. I don't know what these two people were doing, but one of my tanks on my runs through, he was DPS. He was an unholy Death Knight. With an unholy Death Knight friend, same guild. Drove our healer nuts. So the group quickly fell apart. Pro tip though, folks. If your group falls apart, and you are super close to the beginning of the dungeon, or you still feel you have time and energy to be running instances, wait. Sit and wait in the dungeon. Blizzard has fixed the fact that if you're the last man standing and the instance isn't done, you get a higher priority in the queue to pull in replacements than you do leaving the dungeon and resetting your queue. So just sit for a moment and wait. I know it sometimes drives people nuts to say that or to do it, but I got an amazing group the second time around, and we were able to progress through the entire thing because the group only fell apart after 3 pulls. I do believe I will be getting tired of Hellfire Ramparts, the dungeon, but it was very nice to be able to go and get the quests right at the beginning of the instance. I am very thankful that Blizzard retooled at least that much so that you can queue, get the quests, move on. So thank you, Blizzard, for that. This is, of course, Wednesday, February 22nd, Vita launch day. Sony Vita launch day. Now, Nintendo decided that to try and, I don't know, distract people, or at least their fans, they'd release some big announcement video at the same time, just for the heck of it. If you have a 3DS and you have your swap note up and active, you actually got a note from Reggie, as my son asked, "Who is this Reggie guy, Daddy?" Well, it's Reggie, one of the heads of Nintendo of America. Oh. So, I'm forgetting his title, so that's why I just said one of the heads. But the Vita launched today. Nintendo had their big little announcement. So, first off, Nintendo put something in there with meat. It's really cool having 2 new Wii games, 2 new Wii RPGs coming out. But in all honesty, I'm not going to be playing them. I don't have the time. I'm more looking forward to Mario Party 9. I did not mean for that to rhyme. Oh, crap. Anyway. But, let's see here. Kid Icarus news, or more of it. Multiplayer, that seems cool. Then we have the Mario Tennis. Another Mario Tennis sports game. Cool. Online play. Awesome. They better have local 1 cartridge play, though. And that goes for... Drop my pen, so I'm looking for another one. That goes for the Kid Icarus one, too. They better do 1 cartridge play. Limit. Make them have only 1 single weapon choice for Kid Icarus, or a single set something for single cartridge play. Kind of like how Mario Kart, you get 1 standard kart and 1 standard racer if you don't have the cartridge. I'm fine with that. I'm still sharing the experience with my family without having to buy multiple copies of the darned cartridge. But I just wasn't impressed with Nintendo's announcements. Maybe it's because I try to keep my finger on the pulse of things pretty heavily. I don't know. But I wasn't impressed. Now, since the Vita launched today, we're seeing it online a decent amount, at least. The discussions are starting up. It seems that if you bought the 3G bundle, with the 8 gig of memory stick and supposedly a free game and a free month of 3G service, that's only after paying for a month of 3G service. So you get 2 months for the price of 1! Crap. To me, that's what we call in the old advertising industry as a bait and switch. That is all. That is all it is. Shame on you, Sony. Shame on you. Now, I understand that maybe it was AT&T's doing that. They require sign-up and payment before they can give you the service, but there should have been some way around that. Coupons, or charge the first bundle owners for just $1 for that first month. Something that would keep the bundle legitimate. As it stands, that has definitely soured my opinion of picking up a Vita. Now that's countering the neat factor of Vita to PS3, buy one, get one free. So, Sony's plan is if you buy certain things on the PlayStation Network that is cross-platform between the 2 systems, you get the Vita version as well, or the PS3 version if you buy something on the Vita. So, for instance, Marvel vs. Capcom 3, you only have to buy those extra characters and the extra character skins once. Just once. Then, if you download it on your Vita and have the Vita copy of the game as well, you can play it there too. Now, I'm scratching my head a little bit at this because who's going to own 2 copies of Marvel vs. Capcom 3 Ultimate Edition? Especially for different systems. If you own it on one, why buy it for the other? I understand the portability aspect, don't get me wrong, but it just doesn't make sense to me. What would make more sense is if you could buy a Marvel vs. Capcom 3, say, $10 voucher, $5 voucher, if you own the game, and then boom, you get a download for the Vita as well. Cool. That I would pay for. So, speaking of the world of Sony, the PlayStation 3, the Vita, I finally figured out some of those parental control numbers. So, if you're wanting to block M-rated games, you need to set the parental controls down to 8. M-rated games equal a 9. So by not authorizing level 9 games, you block your kids out, which is a very good thing. I have some M-rated games that have somehow crept into my online library, my digital library of my PS3, and something that always had me very paranoid was the toddler, the 3.5, almost 4-year-old, is very good at navigating through the PlayStation 3's menus. The Xbox drives him nuts, by the way. He can't handle that. But the PlayStation 3 is clean, it's logical, and it gets him where he wants to go, which is game, which is play the games. Final Fantasy X HD collection. It's going to be kind of a remastering as opposed to, say, a full remake. Though I assume, for you trophy hounds out there, or achievement hounds, you'll be able to get more achievements and trophies in the game. Personally, I'll probably skip this one. I have the disc for the PS2. I have a backwards compatibility enabled PS3. So if push comes to shove and I actually want to play it, I can play it right now. No problem. Alright. So, a couple of more handheld things. I'm going to venture into the Nintendo realm. The 3DS has a Super Mario Brothers update. So, if you are an ambassador, go to the eShop and download your free update. If you are not an ambassador, you don't have to do anything. Because what we're getting as ambassadors is a minor upgrade to a game we already got. Super Mario Brothers, which I would probably never outright buy on a system at this point, but it's cool to have it, and I've enjoyed picking it up and playing it every once in a while. So, Hulu Plus is going to be available on the Wii as a Wii channel. The 3DS may be next. My notes are rather sloppily written on that point, so I'll just give it a nice big maybe. So, handheld, consoles, that's out of the way now. How about PC gaming? Which is not dead. I play World of Warcraft, especially heavily. The Mist's talent calculator is out there floating around. I refuse to comment on it. It's one thing to comment on a beta and how you're enjoying the beta and what things you might tweak differently or where you might go. A talent calculator? Really? Unless you're a lot closer than you've led everyone to believe, Blizzard? I'm sorry, but I have a feeling it's going to evolve and change and morph many times between now and when Mists actually comes out. So covering it now would be kind of like covering... Oh, and there went my words and trying to be eloquent, but it's difficult to cover. At least I didn't butcher a cliche, I suppose. So, Ion is going free to play. It's that Angel MMO, you're flying around. I really haven't researched it much at all, but it's going free to play, so maybe I'll download it from Steam and give it a try. We'll wait and see. Civilization 5 is getting religion in the game. It's about time. Now, I have two major complaints about Civ 5. One, it didn't have one of the new features of Civ 4, which was religions. Every Civ game has stolen pretty much the one before it in total, dragged it over and plopped it down, added new features, and tacked another Roman numeral to the title. Well, Civ 5 lost religion. It also lost some things like, unit stacking that are great fun, but I'll happily take Civ 5 and the expansion. Religion is an important part of civilization. Doesn't matter what your denomination or beliefs are, it's helped shape societies. That's the truth. Ignoring that truth, trying to step away from the strategy of becoming the founder of all of the world's religions, is a mistake. It removes some of the fun from the game. So it'll be great to start a new game, maybe even a hot seat game with the kids, and really figure out the new expansion coming, Civ 5. Now, I'm sure you'll all notice, for those of you who have stuck with me through episode 1, I apologize now. Hopefully I am doing much better. But I don't game much on my cell phone. I don't know why. I would assume it's because I have all of these great consoles and handhelds here at home. No, I don't have a Vita. I'm talking about the 3DS. But you never know. Phone it's too small. Maybe it's my hand size. I mean, this, and I'm going to show it to the folks at home, is my WoW mouse. It's the Cataclysm Steel Series Special Edition with buttons coming out someplace that the buttons come out from. Lots of buttons. But that's what I use. It's monstrously huge, but it fits my hand. Almost like a glove. the cell phones just don't feel right. I don't know why. I'll probably get into cell phone gaming eventually, as maybe some of the consoles start dying off thanks to the digital distribution revolution. But I think I'd still have to have some kind of controller, not just the touchscreen. We'll wait and see. We'll also wait and see Angry Birds in Space. That's about it on my knowledge of that game. It hasn't been talked about very much yet, except made fun of. But I'm Flame Flash. I appreciate you stopping by. You can catch me on Twitter at FlameFlash. Facebook we have a fan page, flameflash.net. And just like the Facebook fan page, it's flameflash.net. Podcast at flameflash.net if you'd like to send in any comments. And have a good evening.